Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Eccentrics, people looking to study pronunciation, lieutenants. You guys let me know. If you have a group or a name that you would like to be called, lieutenants, eccentrics, a different idea, let me know. But my name is Jeff. We're here with Fluent American at the Schwa Mill, as we are every single Saturday at this time, to take a look at pronunciation files that you send us so we can help you craft your accent. I want to walk through the process so that way you know how to send in your pronunciation files, whether you are with us for the first time or you're already experienced, but maybe you just need a quick refresher. Let's kind of just talk through how can we get audio. And also give me just one sec, just make sure everything is going okay on my end. Yeah, it looks okay. Hopefully, you're not hearing any static. You guys can let me know if you are. Hello to Emmanuel. Hello to Edward. Hello to Shok. All crew stepping in as always. So let me walk through the steps. How can you send in your audio so that way we can take a listen to what your pronunciation file is doing? So in the video description, Emmanuel says the audio is good. Appreciate that. So in the video description, you're going to see a link to a Google Doc. I can also put this in the chat in case you're having trouble finding that. You can go to this document. Hello to Roberto checking in too. Good to see you. Once you go to this document, you're going to see a Google Doc. At the top of the document, you might see the name Joseph. You're going to see directions that direct you to a website called Vocaroo.com. Vocaroo.com looks a little like this. The first time that you log in, though, you might see something a little bit different. You might just see like a big red record button. You press that record button, you save your recording. You'll see a little save button down here. It's going to give you a link. You take this link, put it into our Google Doc, and we'll be able to hear you. And that's all you need to do. If you want to be helpful, you can also include your text, but it's not necessary to do that. And of course, if you have other questions for me about the process or anything else related to American English or pronunciation or accents, you can let me know as well. Quick note too, I have a little bit of a sinus infection because allergies are crazy right now. I don't know how you guys feel about allergies, but I'm going to guess it's not very good. We don't like allergies. So if you hear me sniffling, like, I'm sorry. I will do my best to keep this a pleasant experience for everybody. I'm trying to think. Oh, Tommaso's here. Ciao, Tommaso. Where are you right now? I'm guessing you're somewhere in Italy. Um, cool. I think that kind of wraps up all of our basic things. I do want to highlight really quick. You may have seen I put out a video today on the main channel, which was just kind of a pronunciation exercise, and it mentioned something called the Accent Dash, which is our new course, which you actually will not even it's so new that you don't even see it up top. And what this is it's going all the way down to our courses. So what is this Accent Dash thing all about? So Accent Dash is basically a group of exercise videos where we don't focus as much on explanations. We just give you targeted practice for some of the most difficult combinations of sounds and other things in American English. You can see some free previews of what the courses are like. And right now we're pre-ordering. So if you pre-order it, you get $10 off the full course. When the course launches, it will have at least 14 videos, and that may expand further, but you only pay one price for that. So take a look at that. You again check out the videos to see what the exercises are like, but we're targeting things like a sounds plus n sounds because that's always fun. The words like man or than or plan. We're targeting pitch patterns like doing like this. We're targeting things like stress patterns, like the difference between record and record. So we're practicing different pitch patterns. We're taking a look at R plus L combinations, like words like girl and world. So if you're just trying to get some targeted practice for some of the most difficult sounds in American English, this is going to be the course for you. So again, you can find that on our homepage if you scroll down to the bottom. Cosa dice Tommaso? Tommaso dice che si trova in Sicilia. So he's not even really Italian. He's Sicilian. Oh my gosh. Good to have you, man. Thanks for being with us. Other things. If you guys have some news, things that are happening in your lives, English related. One thing I'm always asking people: how are you adding 5 minutes of English to your life every day? It makes a difference if you add just 5 minutes of English every day to what you already do. Over time, I mean, hey, 5 minutes a day, that gives you an extra half hour a week. It adds up, guys. Anyways, you're not just here to hear me blabber on and on. I mean, you might be, but I doubt it. Let's get into some feedback. Oh, let me add myself there, right? Again, it's not little, it's more little.
The G host was class.
Are you feeling that here, or here? Getting my headphones. My headphones are falling apart, guys. Our little pads. The headphones themselves are fine, but the pads are going crazy. It's always fun. Let's take a look at a file. Allow me to share my screen and share my sound. I'm excited because Tommaso also sent us a file. Always looking for new files. All right. I need to share the entire screen for audio. And behold. There we go. You guys should be able to hear what I hear and see what I see now. Let's just kind of do a quick scouting report. So we got a 10-second file. Oh my gosh. 5-second file. 30-second file. 13 and 9. Okay. People were doing some short files. I don't see any like 30, 40-second monsters this time. Although Elchin might send one later. We'll see. All right. Let's start. There's a 5-second file. Let's kind of just start there and see what we got. And I strongly encourage you to, as I'm looking through the files, ask yourself, what are some things that you notice about the pronunciation? This is a team effort. We want to work on your noticing and your ear. So see if you can start noticing the things that I notice as well. Let's take a look and listen to our first file.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
I think this is Marcos. Got a new microphone.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
Okay. Thanks to Alex. Thanks to Marcos. I got distracted. I saw Alex. What's up, Alex? I'm glad to hear you enjoyed this, man. We're glad to have you. Thank you for being with us. Okay, let's put it out one more time. See what you notice. Can you guess what feedback I'm going to give?
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
Okay. And in case you need to see the actual text for what was said, here's our text.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
Okay. Emmanuel says, hey, maybe we're going to talk about pitch. I think we do have some things about pitch. So I do want to say I'm hearing two thought groups. If you're not sure what a thought group is a group of words that go together in a sentence before typically a pause or a break. Okay. I hear Tommaso also saying that club sounds a little bit too open. Okay, so let's pay attention to some of these things. Let's listen to the first half again.
The first rule of Fight Club is...
You can hear that. Yeah, I would agree with Tommaso's. No, I think you're right. Don't doubt yourself. I want you to say things with confidence. Because I'm hearing club versus club. Can you hear a difference in that schwa sound? This is a common point of confusion. It's the difference between, say, for instance, like a cup. So this is a cup versus a cop. Cop, like a police officer. Cop. And things like that. So it's not club. It's going to be more club. That's the ideal sound we want. More of a schwa.
Fight Club is...
Fight club is versus fight club is. I will say that we have two thought groups, and I like the pitch shift that's occurring.
The first rule of Fight Club is...
That's our first thought group.
You do not talk about Fight Club.
And then also that second club, you can hear club versus club again. So watch out for those schwas. But what I do like is between the two thought groups is you can hear things shift. The first thought group a little bit higher. Like the first rule of Fight Club is, and then we drop a little bit. You do not talk about Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. So I like that shift. In general, when you change a thought group in American English, you want there to be some sort of a shift that occurs, whether your second thought group goes higher or your second thought group goes lower. So I do like that shift. How about inside of the thought groups? Is there enough movement going on?
The first rule of Fight Club is
Let's talk about Fight Club really quick. Edward mentions, is that T? This is a very good question. Is that T in Fight held sound? Yes, it certainly can be. Fight Club. So when you have a T, a word ends on a T, and your next word typically starts with a consonant or it's the end of a sentence. A lot of times that T is going to be held, okay, or stopped. Stop T, held T, whatever you want to call it. So you're not usually going to hear Fight Club. It's more Fight Club. Fight Club. So that is what I'm hearing. So I do like that held T sound there. I think that's a very natural thing to do. I appreciate that. I'm looking at myself in like this camera, and like my camera is like I feel like I have like really long arms. Look how long my arms are. This is like wow. Anyways, um, that's a me problem. That's not a you problem. What else do I notice about that first thought group?
the first rule of Fight Club is
First of all, Fight Club is. I feel like when you say Fight Club and is, I feel like the pitches are almost the same. See if you're getting that same sense.
first rule of Fight Club is
Fight Club is versus Fight Club is. The first rule of Fight Club is. The first rule of Fight Club is. So I would have liked, just to add more contrast, I would have liked Fight. That's your stress. So that's your highest pitch. Then Club is going to go down in pitch a little bit. Fight Club. And then after that, we're going to go down a little bit more on is. Fight Club is. Fight Club is. The first rule of Fight Club is. The first rule of Fight Club is. And then also on is, just a note, some people confuse intonation and stress. So I just want to talk really quick about that. So Beta's in the house. Good to see you, Z. So is not stressed. Fight is stressed. Fight Club is. But what sometimes students hear is they might hear is being stressed, like Fight Club is. Fight Club is. But what's happening is that is not getting stressed. But what's happening is the pitch is going down, but it has a rising intonation. Fight Club is. Fight Club is. The first rule of Fight Club is. So just a quick note again about the difference between stress and intonation. Just because that has a rising intonation does not mean it's the stressed word. Just a heads up. So I would have rising intonation on is because it's the end of your thought group and you're not done talking. So what we typically see happen in those situations is we then use that rising intonation to indicate that we have not finished speaking. Just a note. Other things from that first thought group?
the first rule of Fight Club is
I want to talk really quick about rule. I like what I'm hearing here.
the first rule of Fight Club is
Rule. Okay, so a quick note about rule. So rule has an oo sound, like in booth or food or tooth. And what happens when you have an oo sound that links with a letter L, it breaks into two parts. So it's going to sound like oool, oool. So you're finishing on a dark L sound, an all sound. Rule. The first rule of Fight Club is, and I feel like I'm hearing that here, which I really like.
the first rule of Fight Club is
Okay, I think those are the main things that I'm noticing for that first part. Let's take a look at the second.
you do not talk about Fight Club.
You do not talk about Fight Club. I like up to talk. Like you do not talk about.
You do not talk about Fight Club.
You do not talk about. You do not talk about. So I feel like you're stressing talk. I'm okay with that.
You do not talk about Fight Club.
You do not talk. But the problem is, so talk is our stress. And I'm okay with that. Good stuff. I'll give you some applause because you deserve it. Good job, Marcus. Proud of you. But the problem is that we get a little stuck.
Talk about Fight Club. Fight Club. You do not talk about Fight Club.
Talk about Fight Club. Talk about Fight Club. And this kind of ties in also to what Tommaso had mentioned earlier about club. Sounding like club. Because what's happening is we're staying kind of high in pitch and also our placement might be a little higher. Okay, so now we're limiting our pitch range. So we kind of get trapped. Like talk about Fight Club. Because the reality is we're not getting a lot of contrast in those pitches for everything after talk.
You do not talk about.
You do not. You can hear that movement there. That sounded pretty good. You do not. You do not. You do not talk. Like you do not talk. That has some good movement, but then after talk, everything really gets flat.
You do not talk about Fight Club.
Talk about Fight Club. Talk about Fight Club. talk about Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. So just trying to take that second half a little bit lower in pitch is going to add a lot more contrast. Those are the things that I'm noticing. If you guys have an additional question about that, be sure to let me know. But if you're already getting some value from this, you can also help me out a little bit too. Like what you're hearing? Let us know by liking and subscribing. Yeah, so obviously, what we're going to see is that pitches are just so important for achieving a natural sound in American English. We need them to add contrast to our speech. If we do not have enough pitch in our sentences, they can end up sounding what is called like flat or monotone, robotic. If anyone ever makes those sorts of comments about your speech, that's what they mean. They mean there's not enough pitch variation in the things that you are saying. All right, so that's our first file. Pretty painless, right? I think. Did anyone get injured while we looked at that file? Speak up. Now's the time to let me know. Let's take a look at another file because we're feeling good. Feeling great, feeling good on this Saturday. What are you guys doing on Saturday? Emmanuel says, join the Flat Pitch Society. Yes. I need to make a shirt. If you are a member of the Flat Pitch Society, if this describes you, you're like, yes, I am a flat pitcher. That is me. Let us know. We're gonna get we're gonna add some merch for the Flat Pitch Society. People are just not adding enough pitch variation in their speech. This is a long file. Do we knock out the long file right now? Or do we wait? I think we knock it out now. Dramatic pause.
This delicious drink will quickly become a summertime favorite. Into the
Ooh.
bottom of the tall glass, add 3 generous teaspoons of strawberry puree. Add a scant teaspoon of superfine sugar. Pour in 3 tablespoons of slightly squeezed lemon juice. Spoon ice cubes into the glass. Top off with your favorite sparkling water and serve immediately. Last teaspoon for stirring. It's a good thing.
Okay. So it's Shokai, I believe. Roberto's feeling that. What? That's an interesting picture. Is that your kit? I am so confused by this picture. Not the emoji. I get the emoji. Okay. There's some things I think we can mention here. I'll be honest, that very first part, if I didn't have this text, I would like if you just started talking to me on the street, I would have needed you to repeat yourself because I got a little bit lost in the beginning. Let's find out why.
This delicious drink will quickly become a summertime favorite.
It almost sounds like glitchy. Some of this I think is the microphone too, but it's like like that's kind of the vibe you get at first.
This delicious drink will quickly become a summertime favorite.
Okay. Once we get to summertime favorite, things become much easier to get. But that first part.
This delicious drink will quickly become a summertime.
The reason that this is happening, that I needed a moment to really understand what was being said here, is that your vowel sounds are so short and your consonant sounds are so strong. It's like this delicious drink versus this delicious drink, this delicious drink. So the key part in that section is going to be the vowels. In fact, the key part for any sentence in American English is going to be the vowel sounds. So we need to find a way to extend these vowels to make them the centerpiece and not the consonant sounds. Because right now the consonant sounds are really what's driving this.
This delicious drink will.
This delicious drink. This delicious drink. You can hear, especially like delicious. That's the third syllable is too short on the vowel. Delicious drink versus delicious drink. It should be delicious. This delicious drink. This delicious drink. You have like a 3-word group here, like this delicious drink. The other thing too is that you're starting so high in pitch on this that it feels like it wants to be the primary stress, but then drink comes along and it feels like I feel like you have 2 words that are kind of fighting for the dominant stress. I would probably just go heavier on this, like this delicious drink. So kind of like what we mentioned earlier about having a lower pitch but rising intonation. Okay, like this delicious drink, this delicious drink. So notice what I'm doing. This delicious drink, this delicious drink, and that's going to be so much easier for your listener to pick up on.
This delicious drink will quickly become a summit.
Similar things will like quickly, because quickly, what's happening is your vowels are so short. Quickly become versus quickly become. Where's the short I in quick? Okay, where's the E on Lee? Will quickly become this delicious drink will quickly become a summertime favorite. This delicious drink will quickly become a summertime favorite. So just trying to open up those vowel sounds.
This drink will quickly become a summertime favorite.
You can hear once you get to summertime favorite, the vowels are so much longer and it's so much easier to understand.
Quickly become a summertime favorite. Into the bottom of the tall glass.
The glass, so like tall, for instance, that's another word where we kind of lost the vowel a little bit. The aw is more important than the T.
Into the bottom of the tall glass.
Tall glass versus tall glass of a tall glass.
3 generous teaspoons of straw.
3 generous. A little firmer than consonants, but at least the vowels are present there for generous.
Glass. 3 generous teaspoons.
What do you hear 3 again?
Into the bottom of the tall glass. 3 generous teaspoons.
I think it's okay at 3 generous because you're putting more weight on generous, so 3 is slightly reduced. I would say just kind of say 3 to yourself like 3 times, like 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, making sure that you're not rolling, so it's not 3, 3, 3. It's 3, 3, 3. Actually, guys, this brings up a very urgent question. I need to know your thoughts. I'm asking people in my different groups that I have. For instance, we have a free WhatsApp group that we have one for speaking now. We added a speaking one. I'm going to do something, and I know it's going to freeze my screen, and I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. It's just a very quick thing. Hopefully quick. If you are interested in talking with me a little bit every day, it's not for correction purposes. It's just purely to get a little bit of speaking practice in. Just purely to get a little bit of speaking practice in. Okay, I'm there a couple times a day, just kind of checking to see how things are going. But you want to talk to people, just practice using English. Maybe you don't have people to talk to. This at least will give you some people to talk to. I do not provide corrections in the group. Okay. Occasionally we'll talk about some things, but it's just, hey, if you want to just find like-minded people who are interested in speaking, interested in English, check us out. But anyways, so I have another video idea coming up. It's going to take a little bit of time to shoot because it's kind of involved. But I need you to answer this question. What name, like if you had to learn about a character, would you prefer to learn more about the character named? Second to load. There it is. Detective dialect? Who interests you more? Or inspector? Alveolar. Need your thoughts. Who would you rather see? Imagine like there's a TV series. Who would you rather watch? Would you rather watch Detective Dialect or would you rather watch Inspector Alveolar? Important for duty. Let me know your thoughts on that. Why did I bring that up? why did I even mention it? I forget why, but you guys can let me know in the chat what you prefer. Who would you be more interested in hearing about? Going back to this. Inspector Alveolar, like your alveolar ridge. Up top, behind your top front tooth. Inspector Alveolar.
To the bottom of the tall glass. Favorite. Into the bottom of the tall glass. 3 generous teaspoons of strawberry puree.
I really liked your A sound on puree. That was super, super open. I appreciate that. Lots of breath coming through, which is always great to hear.
Teaspoons of strawberry puree. Add a scant teaspoon of superfine sugar.
Of super fine sugar. I like your heavy stress on super. It's not just super fine. It's super fine sugar. Of super fine sugar.
Pour in 3 tablespoons of
Let me hear spoons again.
sugar. Pour in 3 tablespoons.
This part feels a little choppy to me. Pour in 3 tablespoons. Can we link it together more? Like pour in. Try to get that R to link with the vowel. Typically, when a word um, when a word ends on a consonant and the next word starts with a vowel, that consonant is going to slide onto that vowel. So it's not pour in. It's usually going to be more pour in, pour in. Okay.
Superfine sugar. Pour in 3 tablespoons.
Pour in 3 tablespoons versus pour in 3 tablespoons. Pour in. The other thing I think is also pitch related.
Fine sugar. Pour in 3 tablespoons.
Pour in 3 tay. Pour in 3 tay. So like that pour in 3 part, you're giving me kind of the pitches are too similar. So instead pour in 3 more, pour in 3 table, pour in 3 tay. It's like we need to go down, down, down. Pour in 3 tablespoons. Also note the word spoons.
Pour in 3 tablespoons.
Do that spoons, spoons versus spoons, spoons. Obviously, I did not see you when you made your file, but I wouldn't be surprised if when you said spoons, your lips kind of rounded. It sounds to me pretty closed off. It's like spoons, spoons versus spoons, spoons. So I would say, hey, on spoons, can you straighten your lips a little bit? Okay, back of your tongue high, front of your tongue down. Ooh, ooh. So it's not ooh, ooh. It's more ooh, ooh. You can also open your mouth a little wider if you find that difficult too. Ooh, oons, ooh, oons. 3 tablespoons.
Superfine sugar. Pour in 3 tablespoons.
Do that spoons versus spoons.
Of freshly squeezed lemon juice.
What's yours freshly again?
And sugar. Pour in 3 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice.
Some of that might have been the mic, but that freshly squeezed part. Freshly squeezed lemon juice. Freshly squeezed lemon juice. It's like pour in 3 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Of freshly squeezed lemon juice. It's kind of a hard phrase to say. Say that to yourself 3 times. Freshly squeezed lemon juice. Freshly squeezed lemon juice. Freshly squeezed lemon juice. Kind of tricky. So again, just add some picture. I think will be really helpful.
3 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice.
Freshly, hold that sh sound longer because it's just kind of getting lost. Freshly squeezed, freshly squeezed.
Spoon ice cubes into the glass. Juice. Spoon ice cubes into the glass.
Spoon ice cubes. Again, kind of pitch, pitch, pitch. Same, same, same. Like spoon ice cubes versus spoon ice cubes. Ice cubes is a compound noun. Compound noun is when you have 2 words that join together and make a single thing. An ice cube is one thing. It has 2 words, but it's one thing. When it happens in American English, you want to stress ice. Okay, spoon ice cubes. Stress spoon. Spoon ice cubes. And then you're going to keep going down pitch. Spoon ice cubes into the glass.
Spoon ice cubes into the glass.
Spoon ice cubes into the glass. Spoon ice cubes into the glass. I would have done 2 thought groups there probably. Spoon ice cubes. And then my second thought group shifts everything lower into the glass. Spoon ice cubes into the glass. Another way you could do this too is like you could also just stress spoon, like spoon ice cubes into the glass. Spoon ice cubes into the glass. That's another way you may hear that. You hear that sort of pattern is common when you're given like instructions, like a recipe, kind of like what you're doing right now. So that's another way you could say that. That would sound pretty natural here.
Spoon ice cubes into the glass. Above with your favorite sparkling water.
We're losing some parts here again.
Into the glass. Above with your.
Again, it may have been the microphone. It sounds like we kind of lost kind of the audio duct. But top off with your favorite sparkling water. So I need to hear top more clearly. Top off with your favorite sparkling water. That's a 3-word group. So a little stress on favorite, lower pitch on sparkling, and then heavier stress on water. Favorite sparkling water. Like top off with your favorite sparkling water.
Ice cubes into the glass. Above with your favorite sparkling water.
Again, it sounds a little choppy. Top off with your favorite sparkling water. Like top off with, top off with, top off with. You can almost just do vowel, vowel, vowel. Like eh, top off with, top off with, top off with your favorite sparkling water. Okay.
Above with your favorite sparkling water.
Sparkling, because I'm not hearing that cling, sparkling. So we're just kind of almost removing an entire syllable there. So like sparkling water, sparkling water.
Serve immediately.
Serve immediately. I would have put way more emphasis on immediately. Serve immediately.
Your favorite sparkling water. Serve immediately.
Too flat. Serve immediately. Serve immediately. Go a little higher in pitch on me.
That's teaspoon for stirring.
with an iced teaspoon for stirring. Iced teaspoon with an iced teaspoon. Iced teaspoon. Yeah, stress iced and spoon, 3-word group. Iced teaspoon for stirring.
Spun water and serve immediately. Then a teaspoon.
That pause between immediately and with is a little choppy. Serve immediately with an iced teaspoon. You can't really pause there because it's all together. This should probably be one thought group. Serve immediately with an iced teaspoon for stirring. Serve immediately with an iced teaspoon for stirring.
For stirring. It's a good thing.
Okay. Lots of information there, Shok. I hope that all made sense. If you have any questions for me about that, be sure to let me know. But we appreciate what you sent us. Thank you. All right, let's see some things in the chat. So we were talking about if you had to follow around a character, going to like a hit TV series, and you're choosing between the main characters, the options are detect the dialect, and inspector alveolar. We have detective dialect, it's easy to remember, but the inspector's name is hard to remember. Can't pronounce it either. Alveolar is a little tricky. That makes sense. Manuel just saying, Inspector, what? That's fair. Manuel also writes that Inspector alveolar sounds like a bad trip to the dentist. Thank you. Thank you for that. Edward says detective dialect, of course, because, and I quote, dialects are vital to any language. These are all fair responses. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's do another file. Still feeling good. Did you hear me doing? Oh man, my nose is so blocked up. But that's a me problem. That's not a you problem. That's me. We got a 9-second file here. Who? Knox. It's Ias. What's up, man? Welcome back. Take a listen to a 9-second file.
So let's get right into it here. Here's starting. I'm starting 125 and I'll play this and then I want to show a slide after this.
Okay. Things here. Let's listen to that again and get an idea. What are some things that I'm going to say for this file?
So let's get right into it here. Here's starting. I'm starting 125 and I'll play this and then I want to show a slide after this.
Okay. Some good things to talk about. Let's play the first part again.
So let's get right into it here.
So let's get right into it here. I'm guessing you're shadowing. Probably someone giving a presentation, I'm guessing.
So let's get right into it here.
I would say listen, if this is shadowing, I would say go back and listen to how to say let's.
So let's get right into it here.
Because it feels like the placement's a little high. So let's get versus so let's get. Try to get your placement a little lower on let's. So let's get. Manuel says this is shadowing.
So let's get right into it.
You get so let's get versus so let's get. Do you hear that difference just in placement? I think it could be the L or it could be the eh. One way you can kind of check yourself is just say like ets, let's, ets, let's, ets, let's. That will let you know where is the placement going high on. Is it the sound already? Just like versus is it the ts like ets, ets, or is it it's, it's? You can hear the placement rising on at the end there, or is it the else like it's let's, it's let's, and that's your cue to the L sound is causing my placement to rise. So just kind of pay attention to that there.
So let's get right into it here.
Besides that, I like that. Like you could use a falling intonation, but I'm guessing again you're shadowing, so they probably used a rising. So like you could say, so let's get right into it here. Let's get right into it here. Versus so let's get right into it. So let's get right into it here. So let's get right into it here.
Right into it here. Here's starting. I'm sorry.
Here's them starting. I like that part. I thought it sounded really good. Here's them starting. Good.
Here's starting.
Starting. Could even maybe add a little bit more breath on the ing and starting, but the general sound there is pretty good. Here's them starting.
I'm starting. I'm starting one. Here's starting.
I would also say listen back to the original file.
Here, here's starting.
How firm was their th? Did they give you a firm th sound? Like here is them, or did they say here is them starting? They could use either. I'm just curious which one they did use.
Starting. I'm starting 125, and
I'm starting. I like how you said I'm starting at.
I'm starting 125. I'm starting 125.
Well, I'm actually not hearing at. I'm starting 125. I don't hear at.
Starting. I'm starting 125, and
120. I like how you're saying 120.
I'm 125, and I'm starting 125.
I'm starting 120. I'm with you for all of that. I'm starting 120.
I'm 125, and
You hear 5, 125 versus 125. So it does feel like your placement goes a little higher on that I sound on 5. 125. That could be because of the I, or it could be because of the F's, like I, phi. Could be because of the V. It's like I've. But something is causing the placement to go up a little bit there.
I'm 125, and I'll
5, 5.
play this. I'll play this. I'm 125, and I'll play this.
Play it. I do think you get a little bit more breath on play.
5, and I'll play this.
Play this. Play this. Gear difference. Play this. Play this. Just a very slight difference, a little lower in placement, and also a little more breath. Just a note there.
Play this, and then
And then we'll pay attention to the pitches there. Listen to original audio and see, are you matching their pitches?
And then
because that sounds, all those pitches are very similar. And then versus and then they might, maybe they are doing it that way, but my guess is there's a greater range of pitches being used. My guess is wool is at a lower pitch. It could still have rising intonation, like and then wool, versus and then wool.
I want to show a slide after this.
I want to show a slide. I like that part. I want to show a slide. I want to listen to the after this part.
I want to show a slide after this.
I want to show a slide after this. I want to hear after this.
Show a slide after this.
After this. After versus after. Maybe it's the ass on after.
I want to show a slide after this. Show a slide after that. I want to show a slide after that. I want to show a slide after that.
After. One of those sounds, just again, sounds a little high in placement to me. It could be the ass sound. It could be the F sound even, like maybe versus trying to get to a little lower. Or it could be the fast E, or it could be the R sound. Something in after to me just sounds, a little high in placement.
I'm going to show a slide after this.
After this. You could also probably go a little lower in pitch on the R. Like after this.
Slide after this.
Thus, this. Your difference between like this, my this, and yours?
Slide after this.
After this. A little lower in pitch on the short island. Is this. After this. I want to show a slide after this. All right, those are my main thoughts there. I think the general file itself is good. Just try to pick out those little sections. I feel like we're bouncing between parts that have a low placement with lots of breath coming through, and then these little sections of words where the placement feels like it's going higher and blocking off some breath. So see if you can notice those. Also, I identified some places in the original audio that I want you to check just to make sure things are doing what you intended. All right, but thank you so much for sending that. I appreciate it. Well, hi everybody. So again, if you're just joining us, my name is Jeff. This is the Schwa Mill, where every single Saturday at this time, what we do is we take a listen to pronunciation files that students send us. There's still time to get your own pronunciation analyzed. You can see in the video description, we have a link to a Google Doc that you can go to. So that way you can submit your own audio and things like that. Pedro says, thanks for the feedback. Thank you for the file. It's a two-way street here. And if you're finding the things that we do helpful, that's great. Let us know in the chat, in the comments. For instance, I do see we have a question here from
Question.
Can you pronounce these words? Yes, I can. All right, moving on. No, just kidding. So the words are, so we're looking at some I diphthongs. So I, hi, why, my. I, hi, why, my. I, hi, why, my. I, hi, my, why. So again, as you're practicing any sound, try to make sure that the vowels are receiving enough emphasis and enough space, and weaken your consonant sounds. That's going to help you get a much more natural sound. If you're getting value from the things that we're doing, and you're like, man, I want practice like this every day of the week. I don't want to just do this on Saturdays. Or maybe you're seeing it on the replay and you're like, I want live feedback, live, in person, or something. Well, I am super excited to tell you that there's so many ways that you can get feedback from me, not other people, me. For instance, our YouTube videos. These are free resources. We also have so many other free resources. We have a free, as I posted a link earlier to a free speaking group that we have on WhatsApp. We also have a free pronunciation group on WhatsApp where people submit files. I look at I choose usually about 3 and then give them feedback. But if you want to make sure you're getting some feedback every day, then I recommend our Telegram group, where for $5 for the month, that's it. You pay once $5. Instead of getting a coffee one day, you get pronunciation every day of the week in our Telegram group. So I post a challenge. I record an audio of myself saying some words and some phrases. You reply with your own audio, and you get feedback from me and my assistant teacher, Lenore. Okay, so that's for $5 for access for the entire month. But okay, so that's like a couple, maybe like a minute or 2 of pronunciation practice a day. But you're like, I want more. So we also have a program underneath that titled Mission English. In our Mission English program, we meet. It's you and me and a max of 2 or 3 other students on screen. And what we do is we do pronunciation exercises together. We follow this schedule. So we meet every single day. This morning was a writing session. So we have a writing session during the weekends. We were talking about essays. I was an examiner for IELTS. I was a proctor for TOEFL. So if you want to get some writing for business emails, for IELTS, for academic essays, for creative writing, research, whatever, that's what our writing sessions are for. But then during the week, that's when we do our pronunciation stuff. So you can see we have 3 different time zones. We meet at either 9:30 in the morning New York time, or we meet at 1:30 p.m. New York time, or we meet at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. New York time. And we spread this out so that way we're hitting different time zones and things like that. So if you want to be with me every single day of the week, each of these classes is 30 minutes long, and they're also saved in our pronunciation group, which is on Facebook. So you can already see all previous classes. We are marching towards 300 classes that if you join Martian English today, you already get access to 300 classes, in addition to all the future classes that we're going to have this week. So again, on Monday, we're going to meet at 1:30 p.m. and again at 8 p.m. Okay, so that's part of our Mission English program. We'd love to have you. So many different opportunities, again, to get some feedback and some help. We also are still currently offering private classes as well, in addition to other opportunities. So just kind of some things to keep in mind. You can find all of this information at fluentamerican.com, which is, I kind of pointed the right way, right there. All right, let's get some more feedback in. What say you guys? Yay or nay? Yay or nay to feedback? If you say nay, I'll just leave. Pretty simple. Da, 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 da. Behold, it's me. You got 3 of me on the screen. Okay. We got a 13-second file, and we got a 10-second file. Let's take a look at this 13-second file.
Right now, I'm looking outside my window, and I can see the summer is almost here. People are wearing less clothes. They're spending more time outside, meeting up with their friends. Everyone seems to be having more fun.
But what about you, Sycamore? Are you having fun? What about you?
Right now, I'm looking outside my window, and I can see the summer is almost here. People are wearing less clothes. They're spending more time outside, meeting up with their friends. Everyone seems to be having more fun.
I want to have more fun. All right, so let's take a look at this. Bam, bam, bam.
Right now, I'm looking outside my window.
Right now, I'm looking outside my window. Right now, I'm looking outside my window. Something that I think happens is that again, this doesn't feel conversational. This feels like we're going doing a script. Like if you're talking to your friends, like right now I'm looking outside my right now I'm looking outside my window. Like that to me will feel more conversational versus this.
Right now, I'm looking outside my window.
Now I think the movement itself
And
is good. So what you can hear is that it starts high and just makes this gradual descent. Right. Right now I'm looking outside my window.
right now, I'm looking outside my window.
What I would say on window is I think we close off. We get a little tight. Window, versus window, window.
Looking outside my window.
Uh, so I would try to go a little lower in pitch on that O sound, and then I would also try to get more air. Window, window, outside my window. Um, Another option for that too is if you want to just kind of link things together more, which might help in making this sound a little bit more conversational, is like using a rising intonation at the end to link to your next thought group. So right now I'm looking outside my window, and it's like something like that is going to help make this feel a little more conversational, a little bit more joined together. That's just a note for that intonation pattern.
Right now, I'm looking outside my window.
I'd also say I'm looking.
Right now, I'm looking outside.
Because I feel like I hear looking versus looking. So again, not the same sound. It's like the difference between look, like to like see, like look, versus Luke, like the name, like Skywalker. Like Luke, making sure that you're saying those two words with different sounds. We want the first one, the sound, look. It's like right now I'm looking outside my window.
Right now, I'm looking outside my window.
Yeah. So just trying to open things up because I think the breath gets a little bit blocked on looking and on window at the end. I know also for other people here, making sure that when you say window, you don't reduce it. It's not window, it's window. I see Edward's question. It's related to this next part.
Looking outside my window. And I can see the summer is almost here.
I can see this. The summer is almost here. I can see the summer is almost here. I would really contract that. I think one thing that really separates a lot of native speakers from English learners is the use of contractions. You can hear it's like the summer is almost here. You can hear him saying the summer is almost here.
And I can see the summer is almost here.
The summer is almost here. The summer is almost here. Whereas I think that a lot of native speakers instead are going to say the summer is almost here. The summer is almost here. So taking off the vowel, just using that apostrophe S is going to be way more frequent. The verb to be just very often disappears.
And I can see the summer is almost here.
I can say this. The summers. I want to hear summer again.
The summer is almost here. I can see the summer is though. And I can see the summer is almost here.
Actually, the summer is almost here. The summer is almost here. Go lower in pitch on here.
I can see the summer is almost here.
Is almost here because that part is just so flat. Is almost here. It's like pitch. This versus summer's almost here. Summer's almost here. We really need here to kind of drag down and pitch. Summer's almost here. I can see the summer's almost here.
Is almost here. People wearing less clothes.
People wearing less clothes. People wearing less clothes. You could have actually gone lower in pitch on less.
People wearing less clothes.
Wearing less versus wearing less clothes. I would have gone way lower on less. Wearing less clothes. People wearing less clothes versus wearing less clothes.
People wearing less clothes.
Go lower on less. This brings up the important question from Edward. If I can find my mouse, we got a missing mouse. Is it correct to say less clothes? Shouldn't we say fewer clothes? I don't know. How grammatical do you want to be? If we're viewing grammar as the I'll put it this way. I think if you're someone that is a little bit more descriptive with the grammar, as in you're like, these are the rules, so we're going to abide by the rules, well, then in that case, yes, you would say fewer clothes. But if you're more like, language happens first, rules happen second, well, then you're a little bit more prescriptive, then I would say less clothes is equally correct, in my opinion. Because if in terms of spoken English, fewer is just not said as often. people say less all the time when they technically would mean fewer. So just a note there. The fun example is always like when you go to a grocery store. They have like an aisle where you can check out, and it's the express aisle, and there will be like a sign that says like 10 items or less. But a lot of people are like, no, it should be 10 items or fewer because grammar. It's like, well, yeah, we get the grammar rule, but the reality is that that's not how people talk. So it kind of depends on your own approach. I don't view either of them as incorrect personally. So you kind of need to make a decision for yourself. You're going to hear both. That's just my own thought.
People wearing less clothes.
Again, I would go lower on less. That's going to add so much more nuance. People wearing less clothes.
They're spending more time outside.
Spending more time outside. You have a real opportunity here to play around with these low pitches, because I think as you have this list. The general pattern you're going to see is like da 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 da, like things like that. That's the pattern you would kind of expect for this list, where every time you mention a new item, it's a new thought group that shifts lower. And inside of these lists, you want to take your low points just a little lower in pitch, because we're still a little high.
Wearing less clothes.
Wearing less clothes versus wearing less clothes. People wearing less clothes.
They're spending more time outside.
They're spending more time outside. I wouldn't stress spending. You're kind of stressing spending. I wouldn't do that. They're spending more time outside. Stress outside. They're spending more time outside. They're spending more time outside. It's like everything's going down. Spending more time outside. Notice how weak out is, right? Spending more time outside.
Meeting up with their friends.
Meeting up with their friends. Don't stress meeting up. Just stress friends. They're spending more time outside. Meeting up with their friends. Meet up with their friends. Again, notice how low that it goes up with their meeting up with their friends.
Meeting up with their friends. Everyone seems to be having more fun.
Yeah, and I would just say on fun, watch out for that schwa sound. We're like, and fun. Try to get a little more breath through, because it feels slightly closed off. Like fun versus fun. Okay. Everyone seems to be having more fun. Okay. Sigmar, if you have any questions for me about anything there, let me know. But thank you so much for sending that file. Hopefully that's enough to get you started on some things. Hey, it's me again. Everywhere. Ooh, Shok's trying to make this difficult. She's trying to make things difficult for me, guys. She's voting for Inspector Alveolar. Maybe I can combine them. Like Inspector Alveolar, the dialect detective. The dialect detective, Inspector Alveolar. Oh, am I crazy? You guys can say I'm crazy. You guys can tell me I am crazy. Where's our next file? We got a 10-second file here. Take a listen to this one.
My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain, and I'm putting together a special team. And I need me 8 soldiers. 8 Jewish American soldiers.
Okay, I know the audio's here is a little bit low, so I might have to fast on this one. But it again. Okay.
My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain, and I'm putting together a special team. And I need me 8 soldiers. 8 Jewish American soldiers.
Okay. Sounds like we're kind of going for like a southern, kind of doing like a southern twang kind of thing. Is that fair? And I know the audio is a bit low on this one, so we're going to be a little fast. But hopefully we can still give you some helpful things. It sounds like, again, you're for like a southern thing, so I don't want to. It's going to be a little tricky because I don't want to do anything that would take that away. So I'm just going to kind of highlight if there's specific pronunciation things I think sound off. I will try to highlight those.
My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain. My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain.
Some things I highlight. I actually posted a video. It was funny in this video. So in general, when you say names in American English, you want to put the stress on your last name. Okay. That's not just my opinion. That's just the tendency that people have. I'm Lieutenant Aldo Rain. Generally, that's not how you introduce yourself. Usually you stress your last name, Aldo Rain. Okay. some guy in the comments was like, "You don't have the right to make up your own rules" or something about English. Like, yeah, it was pretty funny.
My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain.
Lieutenant Aldo Rain. So you can hear the movement. I like that movement. Lieutenant Aldo Rain. Lieutenant Aldo Rain. My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain. Good?
My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain, and I'm putting together a special team.
I can hear that reduction on like putting together. I'm putting together for putting together.
Aldo Rain, and I'm putting together special team.
A little choppy.
And I'm putting together
Putting together. So I would maybe just try to weaken a little bit that T and that G on together, just a little bit in the TH. It said putting together, and I'm putting together, and I'm putting together versus putting together, just a little smoother.
Putting together special team.
My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain. I'm putting together a special team.
My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain, and I'm putting together a special team.
The pitches are very similar here. It feels like we're doing like the same thing over. My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain, and I'm putting together a special team. My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain, and I'm putting together a special team. You could have a little bit more variation in terms of the pitches. A special team. Maybe go higher on the pitch on team. Lieutenant Aldo Rain. I'm putting together a special team, and I'm putting together a special team. If you're shadowing this, see how they say team and see how they say rain, and just compare the pitches, and maybe they are the same. I don't know, but check and see just to see if there's any difference there.
Special team, and I need me 8 soldiers.
Same thing here. We're kind of falling in the same. My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain, and I'm putting together a special team, and I need me 8 soldiers. Like it's just like da 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 da. And I want to know, is that really the pattern that's being used?
The special team, and I need me 8 soldiers.
And I need me 8 soldiers. And I need me eight soldiers. So I'm wondering if 8 maybe will go a little lower in pitch or not.
And I need me 8 soldiers.
Need me 8 soldiers. And I need me 8 soldiers.
8 Jewish American soldiers.
I'm wondering if soldiers is also going to be like Jewish American soldiers. Like I'm wondering if soldiers is at a lower pitch. It's hard to with shadow because I don't know what the original audio is doing. So anything I tell you is just kind of like a suggestion.
I need me 8 soldiers. 8 Jewish American soldiers.
Like I'm curious also about that pause between 8 and Jewish. Jewish. Does feel like to me, and you may be just trying to copy the accent. But that does feel a little closed off to me. Jewish versus Jewish. 8 Jewish. So it could be more open there in terms of breath. American soldiers. But again, I know the audio is a little bit low on this, so I do want to move on. But that's what I would really be focusing on. I would say for all the thought groups, just double check if you are shadowing. Double check to make sure that they're all at like the same pitch and there's no variation between them. Because right now, it really feels like you're giving me the same pitch pattern for every single thought group. Like there's not really any variation, and maybe there's not. I don't know, but just kind of something to pay attention to there. My apologies, I can't do more just because again the volume's a little low. I want to make sure people are getting as much value as possible. But thank you for sending that file. Hope you send us more. What do we have here? Question. How do you pronounce lieutenant? In British English, it's pronounced lieutenant. Is it? Really? I was not aware of that. Fascinating. Truly fascinating. In American English, it's lieutenant. Yeah, lieutenants. That was my other eccentrics versus lieutenants. What names do you guys like more? The lieutenants. Okay, I see one more original file, which will be fun. That's cool. Say cool. Dun, 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 dun.
American soldiers.
Oh, we already did that. All right, I have no more original files. Cool. All right, I'm going to give you guys back your screen for a moment. I know a couple other files have come in. I see 2 files that have come in. Okay. Hang on. Might have a problem here. Might have a problem. Is this a problem? Okay, no, we don't have a problem. We're good. We're good. Okay. Let's take a listen to this file. If you want to still send us a file of your own, there is time. However, we are running out. So if you're interested, kind of maybe do it soon. Maybe. If you want some feedback from me, maybe. Let's take a listen to this one.
Hey man, do you mind working together? Right, cool. Could you just watch my spot for a while? I just need to bring some paper and to wipe it out. And once you finish, just let me know. I'm gonna be after you, all right? Cool.
Okay. This is the only part I have the text for. I think we're going to have some similar comments to what we've already mentioned about pitch.
Hey man, do you mind working together? All right, cool. Could you just watch my spot for a while? I just need to bring some paper and to wipe it out. And once you finish, just let me know. I'm gonna be after you, all right? Cool.
Okay, let's break down this first part.
Hey man, do you mind working together?
Hey man, do you mind working together? That's kind of what you're doing, right? Hey man, do you mind working together? So just not a whole lot of pitch variation, right? Everything's kind of running together. Like hey man, hey man. Cool. I think that's fine to start. Like hey man, like hey man. So stressing hey more than man. Like hey man, hey man. So let's make sure you're going lower on man. Hey man. Then we get this next part.
Hey man, do you mind working?
Hey man, do you? Hey man, do you? That everything's too similar. Those pictures are too similar, so your listeners probably. I would not be surprised if your listener, if you said this, if they ask you to repeat yourself.
Hey man, do you mind working together?
Like, hey man, do you mind working together? Like, do you mind? Do you mind? Do you mind? I would go lower in pitch on do you, because your stress is on probably going to be on mine. Do you mind working together? Do you mind working together? Do you mind working together? I would do 2 thought groups personally on that. I would do you mind? Like, hey man, do you mind working together? If you had 1 thought group, then fine, you would go lower on mine. Like, hey man, do you mind working together? Do you mind working together? Hey man, do you mind working together? Versus, hey man, do you mind working together? Do you mind working together? You need the do you part just to go lower in pitch though to add more contrast. Otherwise, everything's going to sound the same.
Hey man, do you mind working together?
Do you mind working together? Do you mind working together? Working together. Let's talk about that part. It's like working together. Like, do you mind working together? Do you mind working together? Do you mind working together? You have to decide which way you can stress. I can see together getting stressed. Like, do you mind working together? Do you mind working together? Do you mind working together? It's like working together. Like things like that. But the biggest thing is just, hey, we need to add more pitch contrast because right now everything is like at the same pitch.
Hey man, do you mind working together?
You start shifting a bit on together, which is good. But it's by then it's already kind of too late.
Do you mind working together?
Together. I would also try to lower your placement on your R sound. You sound a little high, like versus like Can you hear that difference? Just try and add more breath, a little lower in placement on the R. The R.
Am I working together? All right, cool. Could you just watch?
Okay, all right, cool. I'm okay with that part.
Cool. Could you just?
What here to could you just?
All right, cool. Could you just?
Could you just? Could you just? Could you just? Could you just? What here to could you again?
All right, cool. Could you just? Cool. Could you just?
Could you? It does sound to me like on could we're getting a little closed off in the throat, like could versus k. So a little more This is again like in book or good. So trying to open up that sound a little bit. Another very common thing that happens in linking is with could and you. A lot of times it becomes like a just sound. It's like could you just? Like could you just? Could you just? There's nothing wrong. You don't have to do that. It's like for instance, we're not doing that here. So you can use a held sound as well. Like, could you just,
could you just,
but you're kind of keeping that D sound, and that's just a little choppier. So I would personally recommend either a held sound or a just sound. Like, could you just,
watch my spot for a while?
uh, again, a little flat on that watch my spot.
Could you just watch my spot
Watch my spot versus watch my spot. Could you just watch my spot? Like, again, I would do watch my spot, watch my spot. It's like going down, down, up. Watch my spot for a while. Can you just watch my spot for a while?
for a while? I just need to
Watch my spot for a while. I would hold while
for a
too.
while. I just need to
Watch my spot for a while.
for a while. I just
I would put that phrase for a while until Youglish and kind of just see how other native speakers are saying that. Because my guess is, especially if you have that towards the end of a thought group or a sentence, my guess is you're going to hear people extending it longer. Because right now it feels a little fast. Like for a while, I just versus for a while, I just for a while. I would just drag it out longer.
could you just watch my spot for a while? I just need to
For a while, a little too fast.
watch my spot for a while. I just need to bring some paper.
This is a great opportunity. Like, could you just watch my spot for a while? I just need to, like, I would have gone higher. This is your opportunity to shift up your thought group. It's a new thought group, so I would shift the pitches higher. Could you just watch my spot for a while? I just need to bring some paper. Could you watch my spot for a while? I just need to, it's like you hear that difference for a while. You hear that difference, right? It kind of shifts up. And I think it's going to be super, super helpful for getting a more natural rhythm. So we're not staying consistently flat for everything.
And to wipe it out.
Uh,
wipe it out.
Wipe it out. Wipe it out. Go higher on out. That's your stress. Go a little higher on out. It's a little too low in pitch.
Paper. And to wipe it out.
Wait, your paper again.
Spot for a while. I just need to bring some paper.
Paper. That R sounds so strong. It's not paper, more paper. I just need to bring some paper. It's a little lighter on that R.
And to wipe it out. And once you finish, just let me know.
Once you
just
watch out for the short eyes on finish. It's not finish. It's more finish. I mean, once you finish, short eye sound.
Let me know. I'm gonna be after.
Let me know. A little tense there on no.
To finish, just let me know. I'm gonna.
No. I think what's happening is that end sound on no is making everything kind of nasally, like no versus no. Let me know. So lower that placement on that O sound after the N.
Gonna be after you, all right? Cool.
What was that?
Just let me know. I'm gonna be after you, all right? Just let me know. I'm gonna be after you, all right?
I don't have the text for this part.
Finish. Just let me know. I'm gonna be after you, all right?
I'm gonna be after. Gonna be. I really don't know what's being said.
Just let me know. I'm gonna be after you, all right? Cool.
It says I'm gonna be after it. That's what I'm hearing. I'm gonna be after it, but I'm not convinced that that's what's actually being said. So just to note on that part.
Once you finish, just let me know. I'm gonna be after you, all right? Cool.
Yeah. So big things on pitch. Lots of things on pitch there. If you have any questions for me about anything I mentioned there, let me know. But yeah, the big thing is just going to be adding more contrast because right now there's just so many words that are just sounding the same and kind of running together. I would not be surprised as if you said this to a native speaker if they asked you to repeat yourself. I do think that would happen. Got some questions. How do you pronounce this sequence? I would say, could you just, you could also use like a held sound, like could you just. You may also hear just pronounced more like a strike, like could you just, just a note. Emmanuel says, we need some flat pitcher merch. I'm a flat pitcher, yo. Flat pitcher. What would that look like? We're gonna get some ideas. Flat pitch society. Unite! Flat pitch society, unite! Need to make that an audio file. Roberto asks, how do you pronounce in parallel? In parallel. Did that help? So a couple things here for in parallel. Make sure short I sound on in. So it's not e, it's more n. Don't worry too much about that n sound. Worry more about the short I. Unite. I mean, I'm distracted by Emmanuel's comment. Unite. Yeah, we're just like the Autobots. Or what are they called? It's not the Dinobots. There's that new Transformers movie coming out. It's the Maximals. Is that who they are? The Maximals? Maximize! Autobots, roll out. Anyways, and in parallel, sorry, I had a moment there. Parallel, it would be pair. Make sure for parallel you're stressing pair. It's like pair, and everything else is going to go lower in pitch. Parallel, dark L sound. So you typically when you say parallel, you keep the tip of your tongue against the bottom of your mouth the entire time. Parallel, 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 in parallel. That's just a note about that. Whew, if you guys are finding this helpful, let me know. This is the time to say, Jeff, you're crushing it. Or Jeff, stop, please. I have a family. Some other opportunities I want to talk to you guys about. We mentioned earlier that we mentioned so many things. So we have Accent Dash, which is our new course, okay, which you can find on our main page, which is going to be a series of 14 short videos that just go through quick 2-3 minute exercises on some of the most difficult sounds in American English. Right now, it's a pre-order. And if you pre-order it before the course comes out, I'm hoping to have the course out within next week or the week after, you can actually save $10. $10, so you're going to get for $15, you're going to get the course versus $25 for all those other people who buy afterwards. So this is your time to get a pretty good discount on that. Okay, just a note. We have our Mission English program, which in fact some of the people that you are seeing stream right now are actually Mission English members. You can ask them how they're liking it. But basically, in Mission English, what we do is we do daily live streams in a private Facebook group across different time zones. Here are all the time zones that we do. And what we do, you interact with me on screen. You're in class with me. And for 30-minute streams, we're doing all these things. 30-minute streams at all these times. We get to have a class together. We've also added some writing sessions in case you're studying for IELTS or things like that. The last thing I want to mention really quick is that if you're super serious about pronunciation, this is not for everybody. This is for people who are dedicated about pronunciation. Maybe you're using it for work. Maybe you're interested in social media and making posts either for your company or yourself, your own brand. Maybe you want to start your own podcast. Maybe you want to start your own channel. Or maybe you just want to have a record of how your English is improving. Well, our goal is I want to work with you every day. If that sounds like something that you need, like you want that intensive daily practice for like a 3-week period, we can meet one-on-one to discuss your plan and get you to where you want to be. Basically, for people who are in the conservatory, each class that we have lasts for 30 minutes. We meet Monday through Friday. We study all the typical things, breath, placement, linking, reductions, all that stuff. And our goal is we're trying to make as much audio and video content for you that you will feel comfortable sharing with the world or keeping for yourself on your computer, whatever is your goal. And that you feel confident about so that you can show it to other people and say, hey, I can do this. See my improvement. Look at how I've grown. You can learn from me. We guarantee you're going to have a noticeable growth in your pronunciation during that time. And you're going to have the video or the audio content to prove it. Okay, so it's different than a normal class. And what we're going to do, it's different from a normal class because normally when you take a pronunciation class, you end the class and you're like, okay, I studied, but I don't know what I got better in. This will give you actual things that demonstrate your growth. In order to be in this, though, you really need to be someone who's passionate about accents like this. If you're just studying like every now and then for pronunciation, definitely not for you. You need to be able to commit to a 3-week period because we need to meet every day. Okay, because we don't have time to lose. You need to be willing to make video or audio content with me. You need to have a specific interest that you want to study. These are all things that are key. Our pilot program for this starts in July, and we're still taking students. Spots are extremely limited. I can only do this specifically with 3 students at a time. Okay, and we have 3 spots left for July. You can schedule with me a free consultation. So we could talk for free for 15 minutes to kind of talk about what our plan is moving forward, get you comfortable about everything before you make the decision, or you decide, hey, maybe this isn't the time, or this isn't the right option for me right now. And that's okay too. So you can go to this link. You can actually click that and you'll see my schedule. If you want to get an idea about the conservatory, there's also a video here that you can check out. But again, conservatory, we're looking for some serious pronunciation students that want to work one-on-one to get their voice out into the world. I believe we have one more file, and that still looks to be the case. Cool. Thanks to Tommaso, who mentioned thanks for feedback. That was my impression of a Tennessee accent from Inglourious Bastards. Appreciate it. I don't know how accurate their interpretation of a Tennessee accent was either, being a movie, but I appreciate your attempt. I appreciate that. Hope to see you in future streams. All right, our last file for today. Take a listen.
Man.
Okay.
Man.
Oh, okay. I had a different impression. Oh, an oldie but a goodie. Comparing the difference between men and man. Let's see if we can hear it.
Man.
So I'll be honest. I'm gonna give you my honest impression was that I thought the order was different. I thought it was man first, then men. and I still had feedback because even for both of those things I wanted to say. Okay.
Man.
Okay, so what's happening is your placement's a little high. First of all, you hear it on the first one.
Man.
Versus men. So the very first thing is, let's just talk about the sound really quick. So for that the back of your tongue is high, the middle of your tongue is high, the front of your tongue is high. Basically, you want your tongue to take up a lot of space in your mouth. It's like you're trying to block air in your mouth with your tongue. Another way that you can do that is by closing your mouth more and straightening your lips. It's like okay. So the tongue's high, mouth's more closed. Straighten your lips a little bit. Something else that can be helpful too is biting the sides of your tongue. You don't have to, but it can be helpful to kind of stretch your tongue out. It's like So it's not It's more It's like And once you feel comfortable with that sound, we can start adding other parts. Let's add the M sound to it. So can you do like meh, meh, meh. If you find you're doing meh, well, you can hear that's your placement rising. You know, it's not the sound we're looking for. We're looking for meh, meh. If you feel comfortable with that, then you can add the N. Can you do like and. You want to make sure you're not saying on. It's and. What a lot of students do when they get to the letter N is they raise their placement. They're doing like a sound with their N, when in reality, an N sound should be more Here, just between and okay, so it's a lower placement for that N sound. It's like and. Try to get lots of air moving through. It's like and men, and men. That's what you want for that first word, men, men. For man, this is the sound plus the N. By the way, this is going to be part of our accent dash course, that and sound, because it's really complicated. Okay. For this you want your mouth wider. The middle of your tongue is going to be high. It's also because we have this sound that links with the letter N, we're going to feel our tongue slide back a little bit. So instead of it's more And then right before the N, we want to do a heavy breath out of our nose. And. All the things I mentioned earlier about the N sound for men, it's going to be true for man as well with that lower placement. It might help too to keep the tip of your tongue for the N. You put the tip of your tongue down against the bottom of your mouth. And. Just try saying and, because if you can't say and right, well, then we're going to have a hard time saying man, I promise you. So just start off with like and. And again, tip of my tongue is down for that. And. Low placement. Try to feel your diaphragm. And. And as you get more comfortable with that, you can then add the M into there. Man. And. Man. So again, let's kind of build on. Let's split this. Let's just do the first word versus or and the second word. It's like and. Now let's add the M's. Men, man, men, man, men, man. Can you hear the difference between those? Let's compare.
Man. Man.
Versus men, man, men, man. The other thing that you're doing in your files, you're really dragging out man. You're really holding it, man. It's like super long. Whereas it doesn't have to be that long, right? Each of these words can be the same amount of time. Men, man, men, man, men, man. It's just a note on that. All right, guys. That concludes today's session. We did it. We did a thing. Go for us. Go team. All right. Thank you guys so much for being with me today, as well as any other Saturday, where we take a look at your pronunciation files here at the Schwa Mill. My name is Jeff. It rhymes with breath. Believe it or not, same vowel sound. Breath is one of the most important things for your pronunciation. We will be back next Saturday, hopefully, looking at your pronunciation files. And yeah, if you have questions for me, if you're watching us on the replay from the future, hello from the past. Thank you guys for being with me. I appreciate your time. I understand. Look, when it comes to American English pronunciation, there are millions of resources out there. So the fact that you chose to spend a little bit of your time with me, a Saturday, no less, it's your weekend, and you're here looking at pronunciation. That's wild. I greatly appreciate that. You guys have a good weekend. Thank you so much. Thanks to Edward. Thanks to Emmanuel. Thanks to Shok. Thanks to Tommaso. Thanks for sending us a file. Great to see you. Roberto Ayes. Who have I missed? Roberto, I said Edward. Did I miss anybody? If you're saying, hey, Zubeda, if you're still here, anyone else? Alex, if you're still watching, anyone else? Quiet people hiding. I know you're out there, you lurkers. I know you're out there. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good afternoon. Take care. Bye.